Welcome to hole number 1 of the Woodland Retreat 9-hole cup. Now, you see we're checking out the left-hand side. If you're a little bit aggressive, a little bit more risk interested, you can definitely play there aggressively and get this one to the green. I don't recommend that for the average rookie player. I think you're going to be safest here on the right-hand side. I've got an extra mile and a navigator ball. You can play with basically any ball here that you choose. We're not even with a little bit of left spin. You can just use a little bit of curl. You know, this is the kind of guide, the kind of information that is here to sort of suit a wide variety of players. So, and maybe don't set up with that yellow ring as close to the water. Just keep it kind of with the red ring at the top. 10% max. Whatever you do, just get this one down the fairway here. A big topper would also work here very, very nicely. Keep that in mind. There's no one way to just play it right. Second shot here, though, it is quite right to play it with 10% mid-distance elevation. I'm using zero spin here with the backbone, and depending on the wind angle. Now, if you have a tailwind here, you may even use a touch of backspin, a 0.5 backspin. If you have some headwind here, you might need to use some topspin. So keep that in mind. These shots all have to tweak according to the tournament wind, and we're not going to know that until the tournament goes live. However, you can get ready, you can get prepared, and hey, if you like this kind of content and you're happy to be checking out the video, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll see you on hole number 2. All right, so hole number 2, this par 3, clearly you can see the path to bounce it over. It is pretty straightforward. I think most players are going to play here with a rough bump. 3.2 back, 1 bar of right spin with the navigator and a quarter back here. You'll see I've got the top of the yellow ring closer to the fringe than I do the bottom of the yellow ring close to the fairway. Keep that in mind. It's kind of a more consistent place to play. This is, of course, you know, wind direction dependent, so keep that in mind. But from this angle here, 20% min distance seems to be a very, very close amount. Sometimes you have to push this one back a ring. You know, it all depends what you prefer, but trying to show you a variety of shots here. Clean little look here at hole number 2. Rolls in very, very nicely on the right-hand side. We'll see you on hole number 3. Okay, so hole number 3, this long par 5 it's doable, but it needs a pretty precise plan. I set up here with a Titan ball and a quarter back. You'll see that we're using 1 bar of top spin, 2 bars of left spin at the max distance of this club. I've got the clear ring in the rough, but that only correlates to a quarterback 7. Remember, as the accuracy increases, the size of those rings will shrink down. So if you have a quarterback 10, for example, that'll be a different ring reference. End of the day here, you're trying to get this ball down to the end of this first fairway without getting into the rough. You could play it certainly a bit more aggressively than that. So keep that in mind. Somewhere past this point will give you a little bit better look. Now, I've got a horizon here. This is important. I've got 8.5 bars of top spin and 2 bars of right spin. And you'll see I'm kind of stretching it out into overpower to find that landing position. And you'll see that I'm 2 rings into overpower. So I'm going to make my 10% max adjustment here. And then I'm actually going to push this one up to meet the equivalent of 2 rings. Now, that's going to be less than I have. So I try to go 2 rings. It's like 1 and a bit. So I'm like 1.5. So I just need a little bit of overpower. You'll see I'm not even breaking the shot circle and just giving it a touch bit to compensate there. I kind of call that adjusting in overpower if you don't quite have the distance. This is one of my best all-time albatrosses ever and ever from any tee. Get in the hole. You got a chance. Come on, baby. Let's go. All right, so hole 4, a couple ways to get the boom this time. I'm setting up here with a Marlin and a Viper, and you can see we're at basically min distance here with the Viper. I play this 1 bar backspin, 0.5 bars of left spin right between the bunkers here. Now, I get it. This is not the safest landing position, and you might choose to play it a little further up with a bit more backspin. But you know what? Sometimes you get the ball in the hole and you got to share the shot with your friends. This is still a very viable position. 15% minimum distance is the adjustment that I made here on this shot into a light cross headwind. Nonetheless, comes in very, very nicely. Bounces once, twice just before the green. A little hot at the pin. Get in the hole. Okay, so hole 4 with the rough bump. This one's a bit of a crowd pleaser. We're setting it up on this funny little hill here. 3 bars of left spin, about 2.1 bars of topspin, kind of near the top right of these kind of bushes, with that ball guide running dangerously close to the bunker. A great right here could certainly put you into that bunker. However, that is the path you need to keep this one from falling short of the hole. I get it. These are not, this is a bit of an interesting shot, but I want to show it because I think a lot of players will absolutely be interested in this route. And in some wind angles, it can be like, almost unstoppable. So keep it in mind. Looks very, very nice coming in at the pin with a good speed. Let's check out hole number 5. Hole number 5, this one's quite important to try to get as close to an eagle as possible here. I'm going to show you 2 methods. The first one here on the left-hand side is fairly conservative. This is the play here if you're afraid to go between the trees. I'm going to play this with 1 bar of topspin, maybe 2 bars of topspin, and 2 bars of right spin. Now, you see we're just setting it up so the second bounce is just into that dark, shadowy line. Blue ring touching the rough here on the right-hand side. Really no major danger on this play. Make it 10% max adjustment. We're a little bit into overpower, as you can see, a couple of rings, so we give it a little bit of overpower, and I'm giving it a full ball of right curl. So, simple, nice, clean shot here, and again, there's a bad headwind on this play, so this shot is indicated at some times. Now, there you go. As you can see, no big deal on the drive, but we still have a long ways to get there for getting that eagle here. So, you're going to be playing with a long iron, stretching it out. We're going to see kind of where we're at. There's min. We got max. I'm kind of playing it, Erelic gaming mid, kind of there, mid. It's kind of how I roll sometimes. So we're gonna play this with 1 bar of backspin. I did not play it with any backspin, but I would recommend at least 1 or 2. You'll see this one comes in very nicely, but it is again a little bit hot for the shot. That's because it's also coming in on this sort of forward kicking slope. It's on a little bit of so it's gonna kind of launch the ball forward a little bit. We're having a bit of backspin, should check it up slightly and, keep it more in control. All in all, though, this gives you a way to get there clean and safe and easy to the green without too much trouble. I'll show you a little spicier shot next. Hole number 5, this time we're going to grip it. We're going to rip it. You got a decent little tailwind. You really got to try to get this one to the green. Now, if you don't have a power 5 wind 0 ball, bring a Zerk. It's going to get you a green side basically every single time as long as you hit this one clean. Using max top spin, 2 bars of right spin here. You'll see we're setting this one up between the trees right down the middle. Going to give this one max overpower, or almost max overpower because I kind of chickened out. But yeah, max overpower. Half a ball of right curl here in this wind, and this one should get you like right near the putting surface, if not putting. If you've got, a lower wind and the Zerk's wind resistance, you might have to just play a 20% Endbringer rule here. But all in all, this is a must make when you've got a headwind and a decent set of clubs. All right, hole number 6. How about if I get the albatross, you hit the thumbs up button, okay? Let's see how we go here. Quarterback and a kingmaker. You could get away here with the Titan ball, absolutely. 3 bars of top spin, 3 bars of right spin, or 2 bars of right spin. I'm going to have that blue ring touching the rough just near that tree. You can see that, hey? So I'm going to go with like 1.5 balls of right curl. And you might have to use a tiny bit more if you don't have as much spin. But the idea here is I'm trying to bounce and not clip the rough. Just so keep that in mind. You might have to mess around with that one, set it up a little further to the left, but you don't want to get yourself behind that gigantic tree. Second shot, we're playing here with the sniper. It was 20 max on the drive, 20 max on the second shot. Using 2 bars of backspin, 3 bars of left spin, and you can set this one up with a very nice look down to the pin. Depending on the wind here, this might just be a take your eagle and run. But otherwise, when you've got this kind of nice, gentle tail breeze, you can really have a nice opportunity here. Typically, you want to leave that ball guide about 1 or 2 green squares short, basically always in headwind or in tailwind. I think I misspoke on the previous hole as well, but hey, I'm only human. You know what to do. So making our clean adjustment there, 20% max. I really love the Sequoia course. I'm actually happy to play it here without the new hole locations. I'm sure that's a thing, and it will happen, but this is really an interesting design course for me. I know not everybody feels the same way, but it'd be boring if we all thought the same thing. Come on, thumbs up time. Let's go. Okay, hole number 7. Now, you'll see I'm using an EM7 on this shot. You might, if you want to try to replicate it with a lower level club, bring a higher power ball. Otherwise, you're going to bounce over and you might be closer to max distance or a long iron on the second shot. It's really the only difference here. 1 bar of top spin, 2 bar of right spin here with that EM7 and the Titan ball, or an EM5 or 6 with the Zerk. Same difference, or even a power 4. Don't feel bad. Don't let other people tell you how to handle your balls. It's your game. You do what works for you. So, end of the day, just get this ball down near the end of the second fairway, as close to the rough as you can, and you're going to leave yourself a beautiful second shot with the favorite short iron. You know, the Thorn. So we're going to set that one up, and I'm going to use 2 bars of backspin, basically like I almost always do. It's good to play clubs consistently. You get a feel for how they bounce. You get a feel for how the ball guide works, you know, and you just generally get that familiarity. So, you know, maybe you're a Kingfisher player. I see you. I love you. I acknowledge you. There's not necessarily a right or wrong way to play Golf Clash, as long as you're having fun, as long as you're enjoying the game. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what I do, you know? So you enjoy it. You play 10% mid on the adjustment. You hit perfect, and you get that ball in the bottom of the cup, and don't let anyone else tell you how to play the game. All right, hole number 8, no move adjustment here with the Marlin and the Viper. Playing this one, 2 bars of backspin, 0.8 bars of left spin. This has to be the best adjustment that I have for you in the whole video. Honestly, it is a great starting place for an otherwise very, very difficult hole. This hole looks so straightforward, but there's nothing flat or consistent about it. And it can be very, very difficult to get that kind of measure of consistent drops here. So clean little setup, roll it at the hole. Man, we got a lot of booms in this video, eh? Let's go. All right, welcome to hole number 9, the last hole of the tournament. You can definitely play this shot with a level 1 APOC. 3 top, 3 left, and just use max left curl, or not quite max, like 2 balls, and you can put yourself in a little bit nicer position. But with the quarterback here, 3 top, 3 left, setting up with about half the red ring in the left rough, making a 10% max adjustment. We're going to use about a ball and a half of left curl here. So hit perfect. Don't use too much overpower on this shot. Just be careful you don't have that needle wiggling, because you could clip the rough here and put yourself in a bad position. This is a good position. This is the kind of position that can give you an opportunity to get down there. Secret, if you have a horizon, consider using it. You've got a nice little rough bump you can play there. This level of sniper doesn't quite have the ball guide that I need to do a kind of rough bump here, so we're going to play a little bit more conservative bounce over shot. 2 top, 2 right spin here is going to be the correct adjustment to straighten out that ball guide and give you a half decent look down to the pin. Excuse me. So 10% max here on this shot, and you're going to give yourself, like I said, a good little look. This is a great tournament for me. Kind of a controversial course. I know some older devices don't play this course that well, but I've always enjoyed it. I think it's fantastic. I'm looking forward to the Woodland Retreat 9-hole cup. I'll be playing live in the Pro Division, making notes, posting them on erelicgaming.com. Check that website right now. You'll find a set of rookie notes based on this video. Free to play for you. Good luck in the tournament. Thank you for watching.